get troubles, too much deflection ahead.
Welcome back to my garage. We're doing the finishing touches on the new PIP, the PIP2 cylinder. And now we're gonna do something I've actually never done before, and that is using a boring head. I've had this for several years, and also I made this several years ago. It's a 25mm piece of a steel bar with a broken end mill ground to like a turning tool inserted into it. There's a set screw here. And several years ago I made this to be able to do this with as much rigidity as possible and within the confines of my mill, the set height. This is pretty much the maximum we can do. Like, to be able to go all the way through the bore, we'll have to almost hit the table and also just barely clear the cylinder. This will be my first time using this, so hopefully that won't be a problem. It's easy to understand how these work. You just loosen these screws, pushing on the flexible jib thing here, and then you dial in your cut depth after setting an initial cut depth, and then go from there and measure. Another challenge we have is, as you might remember, we're located in Norway, and it's starting to get pretty cold here in Norway, which means these tools, I can't keep the garage up to like 20 degrees Celsius all the time. That'll just get too expensive with the electricity. So these tools the measuring tools are fairly cold, and my standard is cold. My experience with a cold standard is that I'm not sure if it's me handling it or if it's just it cooling down the tip of my tool here. Well, now you can't see. Let's see if I can make you see this. I'll insert this here now, and I'll show you what's going on in the here. Hopefully this is in focus. So now we're reading 2.5 microns under. And if I just keep on holding my standard and using the tool, that number will grow. I'm not sure if you can see that, but now our minimum is 1.5 microns under. Super accurate measurements will be hard to do at the moment here in my garage. Can't measure to within a micron at the moment. Probably can't, regardless of temperature in here. I've always been joking about my slow descent into badness, and if you're a regular here, you know that about 2 years ago that slow descent turned into somewhat of a free fall, and that I'm still struggling, sometimes a lot. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and they're on a mission to make starting therapy easier. I've recently started going to therapy myself, and as much as I enjoy solving my own problems alone, I've realized how hard and often counterproductive that approach can be when it comes to mental problems. A therapist can help you see things from a different angle, create a safe space for you to share your thoughts, and help you solve underlying problems that you might not even be consciously aware of. Therapy is a great tool for personal growth. It'll help you actually understand yourself and the weird ways you behave and how that affects you and others around you. Starting therapy is easy with BetterHelp. Just fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist in as little as a few days. If you feel like your therapist isn't the right one for you, you can easily switch and try other therapists and find one that you feel you get a good connection with. No hard feelings. Their therapists are well qualified, and their support team is there to help you if you have any questions. If you're struggling and think you'd benefit from therapy, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/twostrokestuffing and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you, BetterHelp. It would be more efficient to take out the bulk of the material in here with an end mill, and then go in with the boring head and finish the bore. As I need experience with this tool, I'm gonna just use this, and I'm gonna that way I can gain some experience while being safe-ish.
Being safe-ish while gaining experience with a boring head and a milling machine.
You can see this is the highest I can lift my tool. This is actually on the soft limit. So probably, that's probably more like it. There is clearance. I think we're free there. That's our zero. We're like 1.5 millimeters from the table. I'll set the zero there. Now the tool is clearing the cylinder. It's not up against the soft limit, and it's reading 93 millimeters. So 93 millimeters, 0 to 93, that's our range. Something like this. That's about 900 RPM. I think that's a good start. And then I'm going to dial in 20 thousandths, I think, which is half a millimeter per side. Maybe that's too much. Let's try 10 thousandths first. And I'm just going to go like 10 millimeters down, and until I clean the surface completely, and then see what kind of a cut it wants, what feels right. So let's try to go down to 75, and feed 50 millimeters per minute, super slow. And we'll start the spindle and see what happens. 900 RPM, 930. I can't see it having cut much at all. I'm going to dial in 10 more thou. Extremely chattery. Maybe this isn't rigid enough for what I'm trying to do here. But it's still not cutting all the way around, so I'm going to dial in a little bit more. Hopefully I'm using this tool correctly. I wonder if my geometry is just fucked. Take out the tool and adjust it a little bit and reset. I've angled the tool a little bit more like this, so more positive rake, I think they call that, like this. And also I've sharpened it, and I've just made sure it's behind or on center, so it's a little bit behind center. Otherwise, this it will rub. I think that was what was going on. So now I've dialed in about 10 thou now from hitting, and let's see what happens. And I think 50 millimeters per minute with roughly 900 RPM should be conservative. 0.05 millimeters roughly per revolution, a little bit more, which is not much at all. Maybe that's why it's rubbing, I don't know. Did cut much better, but the chatter is just insane. Is that because I'm cutting too little? I could try. So now we've cut pretty even around the surface. Let's try 20 thou now and see how it behaves. And the surface finish is just horrendous. Like super bad. So that's just terrible. And it's vibration. Like, this is not stiff enough. It might just be the limitations of my mill. I don't think my biggest carbide end mill is long enough to reach. Tried various like grinds on my tool, probably not good grinds, but various rake angles and stuff, and well, no success. So this, even though my intentions were good, is it's just not rigid enough. It's so long. I think that's our problem, and probably because my mill isn't that substantial, and everything just adds up. So plan B, and the plan B will be better. I think plan B is what should have been plan A. Plan B, that should have been plan A, is to create a faceplate from this for my mill, as I don't have the outside grabbing jaws, and I want something super accurate, and I can turn it down to be a perfect boring out cylinders attachment. So that's the first step. Second step is to get a huge chunk of something, like something of this dimension in steel, and create a boring bar holder from this, and then solid tool posts. And because this needs cleaning up anyway. You can see the rust on my chuck, so this needs cleaning up too. That's flash rust from temperatures going from super low to super high in just a few hours, and all the humidity, and well, you know if you know. But not until next time, because I need to get this video out there. So see you next time, and it won't be long.